Alright, hi everybody. My name is MiniMo. I want to show y'all around my server. This is a 1-year-old Bedrock server that I have and that I currently pay for me and 3 other people to play on. I just wanted to show you around some of the builds that I've done, starting first and foremost at spawn. So here we have a pretty empty and plain spawn. Most of us vacated and never came back. Although me and one other player, Momo, have come back and built some things on here. This is a small spawn house. That's where I just was. I slept the night away in here. Just a way to grab your bearings and skip night if you need to. Momo also put in some beacons out here. So we started this server around February 2025. So February 2025 is when we started the server, and it's been a vanilla server for the most part. It wasn't until the end of 2025 that we added a mod to this. We added the Tinker's Construct mod for Bedrock, because this is a Bedrock server. Yeah, I tend to play more vanilla style. I don't prefer doing a lot of mods unless it's like Cobblemon, but you can't quite get that on Bedrock yet. Here we have a villager trading hall that Momo, my oldest brother, has built. It contains all of the librarians we could ever need, with enchanting books listed for dirt cheap. He went in and converted a whole bunch of them so we could get like this looting 3 book for 1 emerald, and it's easier to get more emeralds with 18 paper. He's a bit of our technical Minecraft player. He prefers building a lot of farms, mob grinders, just general things that some players like to build. I myself prefer to build lots of different structures and buildings and mess with color combinations, and you'll see that more apparent in my builds. So again, I built this spawn house, and then I came back and I built this tower. Now, I just build for the fun of it. I really don't care if it has a purpose. Its main purpose is just to look pretty. So you'll notice I'll use a lot of copper in my builds. This is slowly becoming one of my favorite blocks in the game, and it looks really well. Textured and everything, lots of options with the wax, the weathered, and the exposed copper. I used, I believe this is terracotta, orange terracotta with dark oak all throughout, just to get a wonderful vibe. There's not much to our spawn, not yet at least. Again, most of us, I shouldn't say most of us, all of us decided to go up and leave spawn once we all got situated, and we slowly are coming back. My goal is to have us all have a house out here somewhere, and eventually I'm thinking around that area. I want to build a big storage room and have Momo hook up an item sorter to it so we can all share materials if we need to, because we do that anyways. It's a group of us, my 2 older brothers and my nephew that play on this server. I'm going to go through the portal and I will meet you out on the other side where my base is. See you in a minute. Alright, so we're on the other side of the server portal. We have a simple nether hub. This is up near the ceiling. If you can't see my position in the top corner, it's pretty high up. We have access to go further down, but I don't like to linger in the nether. Down here is Bemo's base. He's the younger of my 2 older brothers. Down here is Momo's base and all of his farms and tinker stuff. This is down to Corgi's base. It's not super necessary because if we go down my tunnel, you'll see he's moved in pretty close to me. This is my portal right here, the best portal. I've decorated it with my favorite blocks. We have the copper, We have the glazed terracotta. It was very fun figuring out how to put these together. I don't think I've ever actually used terracotta in a vanilla server until this one. I tend to use it in creative mode, but I've since mastered it. I've also started to use tuff. Tuff is a very nice dark brick, like a nice deep gray, and it has a very green undertone, which matches very well into the green tone of the copper. Which, if you're artsy like I am, green and red are opposite on the color wheel, which means they're complementary colors. There's your little lesson of the day. As we go down here, I do have some parts that aren't finished. Like I want to have these little holes filled with lava so you get some light. There are also spots that need to be further aged, especially down once we get closer to my portal. I didn't have access to copper for a little while. It took a while to get a whole bunch, especially to get it down to my portal down at the end of this tunnel. But I ended up raiding a, what are they called? Trial chamber? I have one below my base that I went in and I started to kind of dig out and excavate what they had there. Kind of stole it, but it's okay. It's mine now. It was always mine. Alright, so here we are at the other side of my portal. Now, unfortunately, as soon as I walked out, if you get, oh, like my character even emoted. She's upset. It did start raining as soon as I walked out of the portal, but that's alright. We work with the rain. It's not a big deal. This is my portal. It comes out to a little gazebo. We have a little path around it. I, for one, generally enjoy having path blocks to kind of lead people through the base. The design of my portal gazebo matches the inside, so you have the tough bricks and copper kind of connecting with what's inside there. I like these little amethyst crystals coming out of here. That way it looks like the portal is kind of just infecting the area around it, but not in a bad way, a pretty way. So as we go through here, we will see lots of different things that I've built. I like to build more nature stuff and work with wood and what's in the surrounding area. So lots of plants, lots of flowers. I designed these. We've used these tall mushrooms. I had to go and collect some of these. We fill it with diorite and bits and pieces. I think that might be calcite. I can't tell with the texture pack. Or smooth diorite. One or the other. But I built these custom mushroom out here. So we have like the toadstool and like the red Mario one. I don't know the actual names. Maybe I'll learn them one day. But the brown mushroom and the red mushroom, custom built. This island I have landed on used to be a birch forest and a dark oak forest, hence why I have a lot of that. The dark oak still here. I tend to like the darker areas. Here we have our two twin dragon guardians. There's our statues I built. They're kind of yin and yang and contrast each other. Oh look, they're opening up. So we have the eye blossoms here with the white dragon. And then we have the oxeye daisies with the black dragon. I'm actually going to yoink that. Let that grow. So I wanted these to kind of contrast one another. Of course, white and black are big contrasting elements, but we have some harmony with the oxeye and the spore, not the spore blossom, the eye blossom. So both eye named plants. So ox eye and then eye blossom. I think they work quite well together. And you know what? These two need names. So hopefully either I can come up with names for them or y'all viewers can figure out what they should be called. Alright, so this is one area. Let's go up here, follow the path. We have a little hot spring down in there. Nice little swim pool. Up here we have some more custom mushrooms along with some vanilla grown mushrooms. If we go up these steps, we get a wonderful view of my house. It would be a lot better if it wasn't raining, but I can't control the weather. So we're going to go up these steps. I've carefully crafted different block mixtures to kind of accent and kind of be a variety of different things. So I believe there's mud, packed mud. I think these are some sort of plank. I don't know if they're jungle or regular wood. But leaf litter, some path blocks, going up to my build. So again, this build is made of some of my favorite blocks. You get the natural wood, you get my favorite copper blocks. The blue copper, the blue-green copper is the best copper. With some terracotta walls, my little flags. Some people are so creative with their flag designs. I had to go and figure out how they did this one so I could have two of my own. But we'll walk in and we have this little entry area. We have a shelf that is being hung up with these chains up here. Some candles underneath. Not underneath, on top of the shelf, my bad. We have candles on top of the shelf and a lovely painting. Behind me, there's another shelf with candles, some pots with cherry blossom saplings, and that is lightning. So hopefully it doesn't. I do have a lightning rod on my house, so it shouldn't be that bad. Out these doors, I have a little patio area, just a nice little spot you can walk out, get some fresh air, see the land, notice that there's a lot of trees, move on with your life, and walk back inside. Further in the building, we have my big O grandfather clock. This was really cool because whenever I first put this on here, the lightning rod did not have this copper variant. It was just orange copper. But since then, it's managed to be able to be aged now with updates that Mojang has put out. I have the wonderful American Gothic inspired villager painting, and that's fantastic. I love it. I do think their green eyes really help pop out the copper lantern and the copper trapdoors I have here. Kind of harmonizes everything, keeps your eye moving to follow that green. Oh, and here I have a gift. This is from Momo. He's been helping me get some green dye for a project that I'm going to work on, so I'm going to yoink that. Thank you! Hopefully that lightning doesn't do anything. Here we have a study area. We have the pale tree sapling, the eye blossom with a ominous bottle. This one's 4. We got candles, some little hidden shelves. We've got my little book. I'd like to imagine in this world I'm studying all of these plants and figuring out what the heck's going on with them. Because again, my whole island is full of different plants, all at different growth levels. We got another painting. We have armor stands. Eventually I want to have extra pieces of armor up here. I've been working on an extra set of diamond armor. Haven't gotten around to making sure it's done. We got a little fireplace up the chimney. It goes all the way outside. Here we have a very magical map room. So I really like to have things updated. This is all of my island, so from this shore to this other shore is all of mine. I also laid claim to the sandbar above my island to the north. And then further north there's another island. I know it's not on the map, but I'm pointing to where it should be. That I have claimed, and I've put a build on there, and I'll show you here later. So we came out of here. This is my nether portal. We followed the trail, saw my 2 dragons, came up through here, and this is my house. There's lots of different builds I have around here. There's quite a few that I'm planning to deconstruct and rebuild or change slightly. Here we get a better look at, ooh goodness, we get a better look at my island from a zoomed out angle. And you can see that island to the very top in the north, and it's got a build on it, and that is the arena. We will take a look at that soon. These other maps, this one is spawn. So this is where we started at. That little gray box in the top right is that spawn house. If you go further down, that is the tower. And then the little box in the corner right up there is the villager trading hall. This big map up here is my oldest brother's Momo's base. This map here is Bimo's base. He's also my older brother, but he's the younger of the two. And then down here is Corgi's base. Corgi is my nephew, and he's also on the server with us. He does his best, and we love him for it. Anyways, if we go upstairs, you'll see a lovely still life painting with a cute tiny little duck. Isn't he so cute? And we'll go upstairs. This is one of my failed projects. I really needed something upstairs, and I put this here because I want it to be a brewery, so where I would make like adult beverages. And it kind of translates to a small bar, you know, a barkeep would be in here and serve drinks, but I mean, it's just me in this house, so it just didn't quite work. There's also, I think there was meant to be a trick with these that I never figured out, that you were able to make more of whatever potion you brewed. So if I get a glass bottle, I can show you. You can pick it up, and that's supposed to be a potion of strength too. And you can put it in there, and you're supposed to be able to drip water in there, and it'll make more. But it never made more. If you can't tell, none of these made any more. So it's just background stuff now. I don't use it. It's just there. I think it looks kind of cute. Oh goodness. And then let's go this way. Out through here we have a little breath of fresh air. You get kind of a leafy archway. We have the cats. I have a lot of cats in the area because they, for one, they protect you. Oh my goodness, he's scared. Did you see him? He cowered. Oh, I'm sorry, poor little guy. Do you want to get up out of the rain? Can I push you up there? That's okay. You'll be fine. You like the water, right? Yeah? Okay. But the cats, for one, they keep creepers away. And for two, they also keep phantoms away. For some reason, my siblings didn't know that for a little while until I taught them, and they thought it was pretty neat. There's where that chimney comes out of. You get the smokestack. That's how I did it. Hee. There's extra campfires up there to make the smoke. I didn't want to use hay bales because I didn't want it to go too high. I think it looked a little weird. In here is kind of a kitchen area. As much of a kitchen you can get in vanilla Minecraft. We got some chest storage. We have sinks. This one is my clogged sink. I like to make that joke. Here's my furnaces. Got little smokers down here. Lots of fun stuff. Oh, that needs to be... I gotta fix that later. Alright, and then if we go back in here and up this next set of stairs, we will get to my bedroom. So my bedroom is really neat. I've got all of my records in here. We got my record player. That didn't pop anything out, did it? Okay. But this is my bedroom. It's very, very simple. I didn't want to do a whole lot in here. I think it's about to turn night. Hopefully we can rest up so the lightning can be gone. There we go. Alright, so this is where I tend to set my spawn point. Sometimes it's everywhere else. Like earlier it was at spawn. Later on it's going to be down in the farm, and you'll see that once I point it out. So this is my home base. I like to have all these small little details, all this extra texturing. I think it makes it look more like a living space. Most of the time, whenever people build, their builds tend to be pretty flat. Like, I'd like to say this wall is probably the flattest I have. I like to have depth. So things jutting out, things poking in. These were really cool. These light sources, these are end rods. If you connect them, they almost look like bars of lights that you would put in like offices or hospitals and things like that. I think they're pretty neat, especially with the particle effects. Alright, when we go out here, this is a nice little area, kind of foundation. Oh goodness. This is a foundation. And from the foundation, we have a giant, I really shouldn't call it giant, we have a good medium-sized tree that I built custom using the stripped pale oak wood. Now I have copper lantern, not copper, that's not copper. What are these called? They're just regular lanterns. Lanterns with chains coming off of there. We have vines, which I kind of regret because they go all the way down. I know you can put string and stuff, or there's something with the shears you can do. I did it to one of them, I think. I don't think. But I used mangrove leaves for this tree's leaves, and honestly, I love it. They look so pretty, but they were just such a pain to farm. The mangrove trees, they're really, really odd, and they have all the big roots. They'd look nice if they weren't built like that. They're just really hard to farm and hard to get up there at the top unless you have elytra or scaffolding, and I don't think I have any more bamboo left around here. But I do prefer to build custom trees when I can, as opposed to natural trees. In here we have my storage system. It's very, very rudimentary. I hand store and sort everything, and it tends not to always work. I'm more of a type B person than a type A, so it doesn't quite work. I also tend to have a more abstract thinking when it comes to storage, so this is, I think this is actually charcoal. Yeah, that's charcoal, but I have that there to showcase that this is my ore chest. This has most of my ores. If it'll open, there we go. But you can see there's a brush, there's a trial key, there's birch fencing. There's not really, you know, anything like there's dirt, there's dirt, there's cobblestone, there's moss blocks. It's not very sorted. I think the worst happens whenever you look in like an ender chest and things like that. I don't know why I have arrows in here. Oh, that's my shotgun. Yeah, there's my shulker box. One of my only few shulker boxes. I just got this one, so I'll put that there. I'll sort that with my dies here in a minute. Now, further down, there's more stuff. This one has a lot more of my bulk items, but I go through a lot of my bulk really quickly, so it's not like I have a lot. There's all my tuft. Oh, guess what? That's andesite. I got 8 blocks of andesite. So I'm more of a builder. I don't like to grind that much. When I do, it's more of a traditional way. I feel like such an old school Minecraft player whenever I go to harvest trees and I just plant a whole bunch of them and mine them one by one with no beacon or nothing. Up here we have a lookout tower. We can see wonderful, wonderful views. Oh, that is not the button I needed. So we see wonderful builds from me. everything out there. And it's wonderful. Up here, we have my enchantment set up. This has really started to grow pretty dusty. I've not used actual book enchanting the table for a long time because, of course, Momo has made the wonderful librarian system and I can easily just purchase what I need. So here's that extra here's that extra diamond set that I was talking about. I think the helmet is actually on that armor stand in there. I think it's because it's completely done. I have all the enchantments on there that I need. So when it's done, I'll put it on there. But I'm not sure if I was meaning to turn this into netherite or keep it as diamond. That was some time ago and I don't quite remember. Yeah, here's my enchanting setup. We're going to go further up. This is another area that's been collecting dust. This is the actual spot where I've been brewing potions. So this is a fun little trick. You have a source of water up there, a dripstone block, and a cauldron. And the cauldron will slowly collect that water. I don't brew a lot. I tend to make swiftness potions or potions of night vision. And I don't really need a lot. I think the only other potion I make is fire resist for getting blaze rods and traversing the nether. Alright, so that was the house. I'm going to go show you other areas of my base. We're going to follow this trail and we're going to make a turn this way. Again, you see some more of my custom stuff. I like having these little andesite walls, these stone walls, to kind of keep you corralled in the designated path location. Not that it's bad to go off trail, but this is safe, this is lit up. All of my island has been pretty much spawn proofed. That way everything else is safe. This is where I have all of my animals. I really don't harvest a lot of the cows anymore. For meat, I do it for leather. I have my armadillos. Hello guys. Cuties. They make all of the scoots I would ever need and more. Which I wish the scoots had more uses. Like to make actual armor for people, not just the wolves. What about cat armor? More horse armor? Shurikens? I don't know. Anyways, there's some sheep. I got chickens in here making eggs. If I grab some of these, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna throw them. I'll stick them in this dispenser and it will make the baby chickens. And eventually, they'll be my food. These right here are the drying racks from the Tinker's mod. These actually came in handy to make beef jerky. You use rotten flesh. I'll demonstrate. You'll put rotten flesh on there, and within a matter of like a few seconds, it turns to monster jerky. But if you put steak, it'll turn into beef jerky, which is not too bad. We tried having a modded, like a fully modded dedicated server, and it just, everyone got overpowered really quickly, and it didn't quite last in terms of wanting to play it forever. Down here, I have a spider spawner and access to an amethyst geode. That's where I get my crystals and my shards. Up here, I have a sugarcane farm. So once they start growing, one of them will hit an observer at this very end. So whenever this one grows up to there, it'll whack them all off using the pistons. And underneath these hoppers, I have underneath the mud, I have hoppers. That's what I was meaning to say. and they will all get sorted into this chest. I'm sure most of y'all already know how sugarcane farms works. Down here we have one of my unfinished builds. I don't know when I'll get to it. Hopefully soon. Hi there. I know what you did. But this is one of my unfinished builds. This is meant to be a winery, so like a vineyard. You have all the berry bushes out front. You'll come in here, put them and process them, turn them into wine, you know, smash them down, convert them into the barrels, and have your wonderful, wonderful wine. But this never got a roof. It never got finished. And I don't know, I'm not super motivated to finish this one. Maybe I will soon. That way, that is Corgi's base. So remember I was talking about how he based pretty close to me. He's just an island hop away. Alright, so we're back at the dragons. So these are the two dragon guardians. If we go in between them and further down this path, we'll see this archway. This is where my animals are. So like my stables, these are my horses. I have horses, mule, I have a donkey, I have skeleton horses, I have a naturally spawned pink sheep, and then further in I have my llamas, and then some decorative stuff, chests that I don't have anything in. This is one of the builds that I'm not super duper okay with. I think the stables themselves are nice, and the overall aesthetic of the ground is nice, but it's where the fencing comes in that I don't quite like. The chains and the trapdoors just aren't doing it for me. I also have a bee that I'm probably going to have to do something with later. He's not meant to be there. So if we follow this trail between these wonderful trees, we will see the newest build that I've done. Ooh, and there's a spot I need to fix up there. Fantastic. Now I know. But I've built this custom tree. I want to have it actually have a purpose. I want to put a beacon inside there. So if we go in here, the tree itself is hollow. So these are the roots, they connect to the base. And the base is actually higher off of the ground than normal. I do have scaffolding. Wonderful. So if I go up here, this is hollow. So I want to be able to put a beacon up here and have the laser shoot out the top. The whole purpose is to just make it look cool, because I want this tree to be kind of the source of why all the plants are a little weird at my base. These little trenches that I've dug, that's what the green dye is for. I'm planning to do this fog effect throughout, so this looks more like, ooh, goodness. We had a creeper accident around here a few days ago that Corgi lost a lot of his stuff in, and we fixed up what we could. It's okay, it's not a big deal, it's just dirt. But I want to put this glass effect throughout so it looks like life energy coming and cracking through the island, showing that this is more like a ley line of energy that's coursing through and infecting, not quite infecting, but energizing the land around me, which is why we need the guardians. This is why the plants are huge. This is why there's all these particles at night. All the fun stuff. So this is my tree. What is that? Is that... that looks horrible. There's that guy I don't like. He's up there with his llamas. What? Okay. Side mission acquired. I'm going up there and I'm getting him down. With Stabby. A good little stab. Let's see. Alright, so this is a little secret. So I'm actually up at the top in the branches. Uh, this is the area that I was working on recently to kind of flesh out the leaves. Where is he? There he is. Why are you up here? What is wrong with you? Sorry, man. I feel like the music is like nicely intense for this too. Bum 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 bum. Where's the other guy? Is he still up here or no? Where's that skeleton? That was so insane. Anyways, there's my tree. Um, the episode I made with no talking, that was really just a test to see how well my software is and if everything looked good. Also served as almost an ASMR video. But I tried using Gizmo, my happy guest, to help me out, and I don't know how to do these happy guest guys. I'm just doing the best I can. I'm gonna learn before I hop on him and fix up the bottom, because the bottom of these leaves are really flat and they need to be poofed out. Like if you put up a Christmas tree, you gotta puff out the leaves. The same thing I gotta do up here. But yeah, there's the portal, there's my tree, there's the rain. Over here, I have my sniffers. It looks like there's less of them. I thought I had more. You just live out of spite, don't you? Did I pick up? I didn't even pick up the frickin' lead the guy dropped. Anyways, these guys aren't that hard to breed. I can always make more, but they're getting all of my little pitcher pods and everything. Hello! I do have a minecart under here. At the time, it's currently broken. Let me crawl to it. I'm not too sure what exactly happened, if there was something, but it keeps losing momentum here. I think I need to put another powered rail down here somewhere for it to catch on to, because it seems to be going pretty good, and it'll drop off everything and then come back and pick up things. But whenever I sent it and fixed it, or thought I fixed it, I thought like maybe a chicken got down here, stopped it, and despawned or whatever. But it just goes and then it'll lose momentum before it comes back. And I'm not too sure why. See, because it's slowing down a lot. And I don't know. You know, normally it picks it up and it goes. Like it'll hit that and keep going. But it's stopping now. Like it's broken. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm gonna crawl out of here because that's a problem for later. I have quite a lot of material already from these guys. I don't really need to farm them much anymore. My goal is, whenever everything with this tree is done, is to name each of these sniffers and have them roam free like that guy already decided to do. Acting like he's all innocent and everything. That was kind of funny seeing him out there. On this side, I have a huge farm field, which I do plan on pushing this farm field back probably to here, because I have this route that decided to stretch out, and it kind of doesn't look that well ending right where this starts. I think, I can't remember if they're called tangent lines. That's gonna be something I Google after this video. But it's something in art where you don't want things stopping and touching each other like this. So I do want to push this back just a bit so it doesn't look so bad. In this area, we have my wonderful windmill. So the whole point is to have the farmland, get the grains, and put them and store them in here. Now, I don't really have storage in here. This is really just Again, a building with not a whole lot of purpose. I mean, unless you want to cut yourself on the saw blade, get a tetanus shot, go cry, tell your mom you're sorry. But yeah, there's not a lot going on in this building other than the fun floor. I love the dirt mixed with the mud and the moss. I think it just works so well for like a well trotted area. I think the only other thing it needs is what are they called? The leaves. The leaf litter. That's what they're called. The leaf litter down in the bottom. It would also probably make sense to have my stables connected to this somehow. And that fence line doesn't help it because it's such an ugly and even unfinished fence line. Oh, that's how you're stuck. Be free. I was just gonna stabby him, but that was easy. He doesn't have a home, so he's not going anywhere. Look at these camels from the desert. I really don't have a home for them either. Same with that extra alpaca. Alpaca? Llama? I can't remember what I called them earlier. They're all the same to me. But I got a lot of rideable animals that I need to get a better home for, and that's not cutting it out anymore. What if I do something where I put extra layer on it? I'll figure something out. Again, there's some more custom mushrooms. In this area, I know it looks awkward. I got some floating chests and barrels and whatnot. I used to have a villager trading hall here. Had it pretty nice, big, grand. I had 2 sections that went underground. I had a lot of villagers, but I'm just not very skilled when it comes to villagers. There's still a lot I don't know. And whenever I hooked them all up and had them all their little cubbies, some of them didn't get attached to their beds, or they would get attached to someone else's bed. And because they were in their own cubbies, they couldn't reach that bed. So they weren't going to sleep at night, and they didn't reset their trades. So it was a problem. So I got rid of it, and I'll build something prettier in its place. Down in this area, I have, this is kind of where I've been farming trees, if you can't tell with the mess. My allays out here, my wonderful, wonderful buddies. This, and you're right at the right place, funnily enough. This is my apiary. Now, I built it, and looking at it from a distance, it does look like the Krusty Krab, but it's my Krusty Krab, and I love it. It's so fun. It was definitely a different style build, doing more of the arches, and I started to play around with the shelves because that was something new that they had added at the time. Really wanted to play around with it to push some of the blocks outward. It was an extra layer to play with. And I did play with this color combination. Now, I typically hate granite. It's my least favorite stone variant. But combining it with the stripped jungle makes it look pretty nice because you have the combination of this pink and that pink. And when we get in here, there is more pink from the cherry blossom and the little flowers. So it just kind of stays consistent. And again, we've spoken about red and how green was its opposite. Well, pink is a close second to being opposite to green. So that warm tone really contrasts the cool tone of the greenery. And of course, that guy's not meant to be here. Yeah, you. Anyways, we're got a few bees in here. Not a whole lot, but enough to make it look nice whenever it's daytime and they're all out here gathering stuff. So I talked about how this used to be a birch forest and dark oak forest combined, but all of the trees in this area, besides one, are all new trees. I only have this tree left that is naturally spawned. This is the last naturally generated dark oak tree left on my island. It's gonna get a little special plaque. We're gonna do like a little pathway around it, maybe put a bench out here, make it like a natural park. It's a landmark. I think that's a wonderful idea for this area. I have a lot of empty section between the tree and this apiary that need to be filled out. Now I could do a big build like a big mushroom, but I don't want to do anything bigger than what the tree is. And I don't want to do anything bigger than the house, so it's gotta be a little bit in between. Maybe something as big as the little windmill, but not too crazy, because the tree's already ambitious enough. Now, Mojo and Gizmo are my two happy guests. Gizmo's the one in the blue, and Mojo is here in the green. Now, they're on these things. I thought I was really witty with them. When the happy guest first came out, if they were floating around like this, they would lag the server so bad. But if you had them in a minecart and not touching the ground, it would be fine and you wouldn't lag. So that's why I built this. There's supposed to be little launch pads. I was supposed to click that and the minecart would move around like that and it would eject whatever's in there. So if something was in there right now, do you want to demonstrate? You don't want to volunteer? Darn. But anyways, if something was in there and I clicked the button, it would eject. And that's how I got onto Gizmo in that video. Now, I didn't have a good way to get him back on there, so that's why he's leashed there. I think I'm gonna get a box full of snowballs to kind of draw them back in. I think that's how people say you're supposed to be able to guide them when you're not on them. So if they start flying away, just kind of wave the treat in front of them and they'll come back. So that concludes the tour on this island. We're gonna jump to the next island, which is my sandbar to the north. There's not much to it, but I do want to showcase it. Oh, and I did want to come in here to show you the hot spring. It's kind of tropical. We got some coral in there. And I do love this kind of load-bearing wall. So it's supposed to be a wall to help keep this section of grass from falling down. There's a particular, it's like a, oh, it was on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember whenever I'm in the shower or something. That's gonna bother me. Can't remember what the name of that is. Got this dock, and down in the water I've got a conduit, and this is the first time I've ever had a conduit on a server. I've never played with the thing before. But we figured it out. There was a, what are they called? The water temples down that way. Very, very far. I shouldn't say very, very far. It was like a boat ride. But I got one of those. And I think I have, yep. We're gonna, ooh, ha 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 ha. We're gonna boat to my little island here. So this is that sandbar. There's not much to here. I made a idea and started to gather material for it. We've got terracotta, and this was meant to be a lighthouse. So to warn everyone going through these waters, there's islands here. But it never got built, and I kind of got burnt out from it. I mean, I like my towers. I really do. I mean, there's two of them, and then the small windmill, and then the tower at spawn. So I got a little burnt out. I think I might make something small here. It might not be a lighthouse, but it's got to be something. I did first come to this island to do this. This is a iron farm. So there's around 20 villagers down underneath there. And then they'll spawn... Oh, yeah, this is messy. They'll spawn iron golems sometimes, and then they'll go follow the water, and they'll die in that lava. This was very early on in the server, so I AFK'd here a ton getting iron. There's also an AFK spot over there where I stopped and allowed the villagers to make more villagers. I don't really need that much anymore. And then we've got a lot of iron that I could easily do away with this. But what I really want to show you is this further down here. Now, this is the arena that I built. I'm going to sleep and show it to you in the daytime. So, me, Momo, Bimo, and Corgi decided we wanted to play around a lot, and we ended up killing each other a lot with a mace that we found. that I found. And we wanted somewhere that we could easily do things. So I built this arena, but we have not used it yet. It's got these nice stadium seats with a lovely view of the arena below. And I've got a little throne, so whoever's most important or observing can sit up here. And it's got a switch that connects to the barriers below each gate. So each of these, oh goodness, each of these are custom colored. So we all almost claimed a color. I surprisingly claimed blue because my armor is equipped with diamond material. But typically I would have picked green because green is my favorite color. So I like to unintentionally say this one's mine. But I meant to fill all of this with armor, weapons, and things like that. They got color-coded beds, color-coded terracotta on the inside and outside, so you know who you are rooting for. We got the black-red team, and we got the purple. This one hurts my eyes a little. I do love the actions and things beds. Actions and stuff. They just got the cutest little things. And then, finally, supposedly mine, the blue team. Pretty cool. They all have ladders. They're all sectioned off, so if you're actually like feuding with the other guy, you could like sneak up on this window and like shake your butt at them. I don't know. I'm being silly. But back up the ladder. We got a good roof. I wanted it covered so if it did rain or lightning, they would be safe, spectators and participants alike. Now, while the arena itself is done, the area around it, I still say is incomplete. I've got an idea to put stalls around. Like, it's a big arena, right? So you're gonna have people wanting to go get snacks and drinks and maybe merchandise for their favorite fighter. So that's what I wanted to do. I think we'll go do an aerial view of everything. Blah. So here is the aerial view of my island. Again, all of this here is mine and what I have built. Oh, there is that thing that I need to show y'all. I've played on here for a very long time. I've played Minecraft ever since I was little. I think it was around whenever I was 11 or so, when Minecraft first came to Xbox, that I started to play. Now, I typically played in peaceful, and then whenever that Xbox version got creative, I exclusively played on it. Kind of helped me build my skills up. Learned a lot of things since then, what can and can't go, and what looks good and what tends not to. I don't know why they sigh like that. We do have one last thing to show, and that is a place I don't visit a lot. This is a kind of cave, ventilation, lava, pool, tinker area. So I mentioned we had added Tinker's constructs, so the Tinker's mod, onto our server. Our server used to be completely vanilla, but we added this so we could increase the longevity and entertainment of the server. I tend to stick with vanilla stuff, but I like to build, so I built this so I could have every little Tinker thing all in one spot. So these are your templates, the casts. I don't know what most of these are. I built them right whenever we first started and added the little forge, I think this is called. And I really haven't touched it since then. I've got all of my little lava building, making more cauldrons. But yeah, you got the berries and the plant fiber and the molten copper and tin. I don't mess with it. I mean, all of my stuff is netherite, but apparently there's lots of overpowered stuff you can get from Tinkers. I just prefer vanilla Minecraft. Unless it's my special interest Pokemon, which makes it Cobblemon. I will play that forever. Which makes me wish we were on Java version to play. Now that does conclude the tour. I think I've shown y'all everything there is to see on my island. I'm hoping to build more to showcase lots of fun builds, maybe play around with things, do weird stuff. But other than that, ooh, goodness. Thank y'all for watching. Bye bye.